Hello, and welcome back to the Taylor Seminars. My name is Hannah, and we are here to talk about how Taylor Swift turns life into poetry with my dear friend, Exquisite. You want to say hello?
Hi, Hannah.
I am so excited. We are almost at the end of this standard edition of the album, and we get to talk about something happy.
I know Taylor was excited to talk about something happy.
No, really, we are on track 15, which is titled The Alchemy. It is a song written by Taylor Swift and Jack Antonoff.
Yep. Because, yeah, we should probably just jump in. Um, but I will say, just based on the title, I think it was really like interesting. All the theories we all had where we were like, well, alchemy is turning something into gold,
Mm-hmm.
etc., like magic.
Yeah.
Uh,
The most,
yeah. Oh, no, go.
I was, yeah, so in generally, alchemy, it's like medieval times, pre chemistry, right? Before chemistry, there was, oh my gosh, before chemistry, there was alchemy? Oh.
Oh,
Good job, me. So it's based on the supposed transformation of matter. So they would try to convert base materials like lead into gold, or try to find like an elixir that could like transform you, like immortality and stuff. So
mhm. So yeah, yeah. No, and it's interesting. We're getting to these last two songs on the main album, which is crazy. The last two songs of the main album, you guys, this is nuts.
nuts.
Uh, and Taylor is just kind of like something else kind of magical happened on the Eras tour in the midst of a lot of hell, of her, finding herself again, and then finding something even better.
I love that.
Even
Hell was the journey that brought me heaven. Part two.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, so we can kind of get started.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
start reading and we'll start going. This happens once every few lifetimes. These chemicals hit me like white wine. What if I told you I'm back? The hospital was a drag. Worst sleep that I ever had. I circled you on a map. I haven't come around in so long, but I'm coming back so strong.
Listen, Taylor is hilarious. I'm sorry, that intro line is so funny to me for her to say the hospital was a drag, worst sleep that I've ever had.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
Yeah. No, I mean, like we said, we all kind of assumed this would be more of the happier songs. But then once this song started with this kind of like, I don't know, like sultry, sexy beat, even, right? Like it's very, almost like, yeah, it's just got such an interesting production. And to have this, again, chemistry kind of reference right in here. This happens once every few lifetimes. These chemicals hit me like white wine. They're making, it's not that she's drunk, but it's like she's drunk. It's like affected her mood and her personality.
Yeah. This whole song, and then like it happens again in So High School, which we'll get to. But it's very interesting how she sings about love and like a lot of things and a lot of people as like kind of like addictions or like substance abuse. And so it's interesting to see how she like kind of transmutates that to be like, well, it's the emotions itself. I'm no longer it's not bad. This is not destructive kind of.
Yeah. And I love the callback. The hospital was a drag. It reminds me of the TTPD music video for Fortnite. Also,
Mm.
the first track, right? I was supposed to be sent away, but they forgot to come and get me. This mental asylum that I was basically forced into. Like it sucked. It was and like this miracle move on drug. It sucked.
Yeah, it's not. But guess what? We are so back. We are so back.
No, literally. And it's funny
Yeah.
because at hospitals, you do tend to get bad sleep. There's all these like beepings and like nurses coming in and out. It's actually true. They're like recovery is best at home because it's just so chaotic in a hospital. But I also see this kind of I circled you on a map as kind of like either like the way you circle a date on a calendar to like look forward to, or it could be like you plan your great escape, the prison break, the asylum break, and you're like, this
I'm
is the
out.
plan. Yeah, I'm out.
Or even like the circling on the map is like, okay, I see where I'm about to land. And this is gonna be very good. I haven't
Oh,
come out in so long. It's been a long time, but I'm back, stronger than ever. We're so back.
yeah,
We're so back.
yeah, yeah. It's like her kind of emerging out of like a cocoon, right? Or like out of like a straitjacket, right? Like that she's coming out of it. Oh, love
Yeah,
it.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So when I touch down, call the amateurs and cut them from the team. Ditch the clowns, get the crown. Baby, I'm the one to beat. Cause the sign on your heart said it's still reserved for me. Honestly, who are we to fight the alchemy?
I know when she made that rhyme, "Who are we to fight the alchemy?" She like giggled and kicked up her feet.
I love the chords because it's so fun. Like when people first listen to it, they're like, "Nah, I'm so happy that my Travi made it to the big game."
Yes,
But it's more than just that. Like she's got like a double entendre going on there, where it's touchdown literally because she's talking about she's on a plane or whatever. Like she's back. She hasn't come back in so long. So she says, "So when I touch down, so when I land wherever I circled on the map." Call all those losers and tell them to get lost. Like we're cutting them from the team. Um,
which happens actually in a sport, especially in football. There's a very big culture of you get all these like 90 something players at the beginning of training camp, and then you literally cut them down to 54, like, or something like that. Like almost half the team is literally cut. There's a HBO like docu-series they do every year. Is it still called
mhm.
HBO Max, where they um, take them through this documentary this week, and you just see players get cut. It's so sad.
So sad. I get so sad. And like, if you get cut from the practice team, that doesn't mean that you can't play football. You can go play football somewhere else. You're just not playing for that team.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty sad.
Anyway,
Um,
call them and tell them they gotta go because I'm here now. This is also could be like on like getting away from the metaphor. It's also could be like, well, it's kind of like all of the girls you loved before, where she's like, well, tell them to go. You don't need them anymore because I am the one that they need to be in order to get you, in order for you to get
yeah,
me as well. Like, I'm the one here.
and these are amateurs. I'm a professional. I am like the best of the best. I'm the cream of the crop. Um, ditch the clowns, get the crown. Ditch the clowns always reminds me of like there's robbers to the east, clowns to the west from Peace, right? This idea of like they're not um they're not even like they're not those are not even professional. It's like a level even lower. People who are just are fools in essence. And then get the crown reminds me of my boy. Like I'm
Yeah.
queen of sandcastles he destroys, and she's like, no,
Yep.
I'm still a queen, and I have my new kingdom.
Exactly. And it's first of all, I like that these are all like commands. So she's telling that whoever it is the speaker is singing to, she's like, ditch the clowns, get the crown, because it's mine. So put it back on my head. She's like, yeah, no, I'm the one to beat here. It's fun.
Yeah, actually, let's go back to that because, yeah, when you read it like grammatically,
Hmm.
so when I touch down, after I do this, the commands, cut them, call them, ditch them, get them, right? Like, it's
Yep.
like,
As
it's
the
like,
second I land, here are the things you need to
yeah,
do.
it's like
How you
executive
get the
orders.
girl? This is how you get the girl. Ditch the crowd. Call the amateurs and tell them they gotta go. Ditch the rest of those crowns and then give me the crown. Like that's how you get the girl here.
How you get the girl 2.0. I love this.
Exactly. Exactly. Because she's like, that spot is mine. and it always has been mine, and no one was ever going to take it. It's still reserved for me anyway. So that's why I'm landing. I'm landing. I'm here. There's still a reserve spot on your heart, and I'm going to take it
Yeah.
because it was mine.
Yeah. So the sign on your heart could be because it's still reserved for me. Yeah. So RSVP'd, I guess, from the hospital. Um, and then honestly, who are we to fight the alchemy? Oh yeah, even honestly, who are we to fight the alchemy? Like it just rolls off the tongue so well.
Speaking of the alchemy, just really quickly, if you were following the Olympics, we were filming this during the last Olympics. The women's basketball team just got gold, which means the US has officially won the overall Olympics as well. Final medal count, we win. Thank you.
I was wondering why you were looking at your phone, and I was like, it's probably looking up a lyric, trying to find something. Nope, you.
I had
Good
to
for.
turn off the game because I was convinced I was a jinx. The second I turned off the game, we started winning.
That's so funny. Well, very very glad. Um, Let me read the next section.
Okay, okay.
Hey you, what if I told you we're cool? That child's play back in school is forgiven under my rule. I haven't come around in so long, but I'm making a comeback to where I belong.
I love that because, literally the hey you, like she's pointing over there and she's and pointing over there at the person she was talking to. She's like, okay, now that you've given me the crown, like we're cool. Like we are fine. And so that child's play is the same thing as kind of like she's repeating what she says in the chorus. Like the clowns, all that stuff, everything we did when we were younger, it's forgiven now that I'm the queen. Under my rule, it's forgiven, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
great.
Yeah, and it's this like, well, let's talk a little about this.
Yeah.
Um, do you think, Exquisite, that there's maybe a double muse in this song?
You're trying to get me jumped.
No, no. So okay, so if you don't know, I was a little bit vocal about this theory that yes, this song is about her famous boyfriend who plays football, but I also think that there's a little bit of a love letter or a little bit of a connection to her fans because this whole song is also about the tour that brought her and her boyfriend together. And this is and the ratio is like I would say mostly her and Travis, right? Like this is
Yeah.
like in for example, in My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys was also I feel like a double muse, but it's mostly
Yeah.
Joseph coded, right?
Yeah.
With and you could
Yeah.
sprinkle a little bit of the other one.
I and yes, Hannah did get dragged. But listen. Like I completely get where you're coming from because here's the thing. I do think she's singing about the circumstances that even brought him to her. The alchemy that he showed up was because of Era's tour. And once she got comfortable back being on that stage, she was able to be like, I made a comeback to where I belong, which is on stage, which is with you type thing. So she's like, I'm back and I'm situated and I'm comfortable.
Yeah, so I think that the best way to
Like, you
put
were not saying this song is a long live. You were saying she's talking about getting completely back into herself, and herself is both Taylor Swift TM and Tay lowercase. Like, it's both. And she has to have both in order to be a full person.
yeah, in fact, I think it just makes the songwriting that much better that she's able to write a love song that kind of is a love letter in multiple ways and
Mm-hmm.
really connects, right, her relationship to her boyfriend, to her fans as well, and the way that it wraps. So, for example, like I do think like, um, so when I touch down, right, I feel like both the airplane landing and to the football scoring thing. Even I would say like I haven't come around in so long. It's been a tour um, that she wasn't able to tour since Reputation, right? We have this, um, uh, yeah. Oh, the sign on your heart says it's still reserved for me. So we
Yep.
have we have literally people being like, Taylor, we're gonna ride and die for you. We're gonna go to London and New York and all these places. Literally, you know, saying that, you know, she's our favorite and she's the best, which she is. And at the same time, we also know, according to the lore, that Travis uh, nursed a big crush on Taylor Swift.
Literally, and he's literally further confirmed that he's known about her since her debut and has been crushing. That is so funny.
That is so funny.
He saw his chance. He knew what he wanted, and boy, he got her.
No, literally. Um, and so yeah, so even in this, even in this like progression, I feel like the beginning is the most Taylor with fans coded, and then as it goes on, it just slowly becomes about Travis. But again, we've talked about this from the very beginning of the podcast. These are songs about Taylor, right? Like we are saying that she's the main character, and this whole song is just I'm back. Like, what if I'm back and I'm so back? And we're
exactly like he's like, I'm so back in all aspects of my life.
yes, yes, because I Can Do It with a
Yeah.
Broken Heart was I got back because I faked it till I made it, and I did. But then this is like, oh, like I'm good is like it has flipped from I'm good, like I'm okay, to like no, like I'm so good.
Yeah, literally, she's like, no, I'm back and better than ever. Like this is, I can't even fight how back I am.
Yeah.
I can't even fight it.
All right. Why don't you read that? Well, so it goes back to the chorus, and then it kind of does like a second chorus almost. You want to read that?
Yeah. These blokes warm the benches. We've been on a winning streak. He jokes that it's heroin, but this time with an E, because the sign on your heart says it's still reserved for me. Honestly, who are we to fight the alchemy? I love that.
I thought this chorus or second chorus, whatever, was so well written.
Listen, because it's so fun. Because first of all, she literally basically said, USA, USA, no more. This is the American Revolution. Happy Olympics. The US on top, by the way. Anyway, she literally said these blokes, these blokes, as in the British, like slang for guys. She's like, they're losers and they're on the benches. They cannot play this game because we've been winning so bad. Like, that's funny.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't know, bloke is kind of a colloquial term for like dudes. And we do know that Taylor did know some British boys.
And she's done with them.
Yes.
We are in the American Revolution. When she's wearing jeans on TS12, don't act shocked.
They are warming the benches. So in football, people who, I guess in lots of sports, if you are not the like first string player, like the best teams, you're a bench warmer. You kind of sit there, and if the star player needs like a 5-minute break or whatever, like that's when you go in. So they're not the superior ones, right? They're not the best of the best. And now they're on a winning streak. He jokes that it's heroin. So heroin and heroin are like, is it homonym? Is that what it's called?
No, they're
Homophones.
Because it's not the same spelling. It's just that no, it's not the same spelling. They're homophones because they sound the same. Heroin.
Yes.
But one with an E, and they have two completely different meanings.
So the one without the E is a drug, very strong, addictive substance. But then he jokes that I'm not addicted to heroin, the drug. I'm addicted to heroin with an E, which is a female hero.
Yep. It's like one, it's a very sweet compliment. And two, it is like, because there's a whole sports metaphor thing. When players are doing really good, they're like, oh, they're doping. Like they are using performance enhancing drugs. And he jokes, well, I am, but not the one you think. It's her. She's my performance enhancing drug.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, like, and I think it also goes like he doesn't get high off of drugs. He gets high off of her.
He smokes her jokes.
Yeah. So high school.
Hannah, that was terrible.
Thank you.
Die again. That one was terrible.
um, and then yeah, it repeats the last bit because the sign on your heart says it's still reserved for me. Honestly, who are we to fight the alchemy? All right, let me read this epic prophetic
Yeah.
bridge. Shirts off, and your friends lift you up over their heads. Beer sticking to the floor. Cheers chanted because they said there was no chance. Trying to be the greatest in the league. Where's the trophy? He just comes running over to me.
Listen.
My favorite is when I read the bridge and then Exquisite just goes on a big rant. So
So fun. I'm sorry, once again, not to be like Olympics, 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 but we saw, I think a lot of people could not visualize what she meant by he just comes running over to me until they saw the Olympics. And so we had like a lot of instances where someone would win gold. And instead of like going like immediately to where the podium is, they went running to like their lover, their wife, their girlfriend, their husband, like they went straight, just running right over to them because that's who they want to celebrate with. They don't want to celebrate the fact that they want, like, it doesn't matter because they had somebody in their corner. So that line is like, it doesn't matter if there's no trophy because I'm his prize and he treats me like he understands, like, yeah, I'm not a prize. Obviously, a woman's not a prize to be won. Duh. I feel like I shouldn't have to preface this, but just in case. But he comes to me, like he runs straight to me no matter what. It doesn't matter, like I'm the first person he looks for in a crowd.
it reminds me of like the opposite view of Sweeter Than Fiction, right? Because in
Yes.
that one, like you're proud of this person who did something, and she's like looking at him like your eyes wider than distance. This love is sweeter than fiction. Like there you are, 10 feet tall, etc. So I did that all in the wrong order, right? Where she, but then in this one, oh, I guess it's the same view. Well, in this one, it's like sweeter than fiction, and then he runs over. Like he
That,
accomplished. Yeah, okay, that's correct. He
yeah.
accomplished this. Someone accomplished this thing, and they come running over. Like it's beautiful. Yeah, and all those edits, all over Twitter, TikTok, wherever, like they were wonderful. Like with the music swelling, and I think my favorite one, the two that I saw was one was the Swedish pole vaulter who's from
Yeah.
Louisiana, who like hurled himself over that ridiculous height and then literally just ran to his girlfriend in the stands and they're like hugging. And then the second one is the long jumper from the US who has
Yeah.
an amazing love story with her husband, by the way, where she leaps into the stands and he literally is
He
holding
caught
her
her
up. She is not touching the floor. Like I was like watching to be like, okay, can she put her leg? Like no, she is like probably giggling and kicking her feet.
and he caught her, and it makes me want to cry because I love love so much and it's so beautiful. Also, that Swedish pole vaulter, he's actually American. He's just from Louisiana and in so like goofy mood. He must come home for the 2028 Olympics.
Yeah, can we come home to where you
Come home.
belong? You won one for Sweden.
Come
Now you can win
home.
one for us.
Exactly. He's won several for that man, he played for he is alumni with me. He went to LSU.
Ah,
So I'm rooting for him to get gold regardless because hello, go Tigers. But that's my alma mater. But it was just, it's so sweet because he literally, y'all, I'm not joking. The man basically leapt 25 feet and then took off to the stage.
it was beautiful. And so yeah, so the beginning of this bridge, we have like this whole like post guess game celebration. Shirts off, your friends lift you up over their heads. There's been a victory. There's beer sticking to the floor and cheers chanted. Um,
Because they said,
Yep, there was no chance. Like you were underdogs, right? There's no like we are gonna be defeated. Like this is Goliath being like, "Who are you, puny little child, to come up to me?" But then David slinged that slingshot and knocked down the giant.
yep. I also love it. I love the imagery she paints here because if you've ever been to, I don't know, you've ever been to like, if you ever been to a sports bar or party for anything sports related, when you win, like there's like I imagine like it's all slow motion where people are throwing beer up. It's messy. Think New Year's Day as well, kind of like there's glitter stuffed on the party. There's glitter on the floor after the party type things, except this is messier and much more sports related. But
Yeah.
and she's like, everyone was against us. And also everyone was probably against this. They didn't want us together.
Uh,
Uh
and I just think it's so funny that like she wrote this song and recorded it before the Super Bowl, before the
Listen,
AFC Championship game.
told him he better get it together and we're both gonna be.
No, there was like a tweet or a Tumblr, which so maybe I can find it, but they were basically like, yeah, like Travis walks into the locker room and is like, "Hey guys, just so you know, Taylor wrote a song about us winning the Super Bowl, so we have to win."
Like we have no choice. We have no choice. And mind you, y'all, let me tell you something. For those who don't follow sports, around Christmas time, it was looking real dire for the
Grim.
Chiefs. They had no reason to get into that. They had no reason to get into the
No,
playoffs
I
at
think
all.
no,
But
they could have. They went into the playoffs, but like there was like no chance they were going to make it through the playoffs, right?
yeah, well, even then, even looking like around Christmas, it was like they could have lost their spot in the playoffs as well. Like it was
Uh,
bad, but they fought back.
okay.
There's no reason they even made it to the AFC Championship if we're being real.
Yeah.
That was like a whole thing. That's why everyone was crying. And then the Super Bowl was just a cherry on top. There is no reason. It's the same way that it's like, it's kind like, I don't think we talk enough about how insane it is that within a week of each other, Taylor won her fourth album of the year. And then she wins the Super Bowl.
No.
It doesn't add up. Like that is literally something that isn't like written in movies
No, I
because
agree.
it doesn't seem realistic. And then it happens.
So yeah, I found the tweet. It's by Midnight Hoax with another X at the end. Do we think Travis's pre-Super Bowl speech included telling the team that Taylor has already written a song about them getting the trophy and being on a winning streak, so if they don't win, it'll be embarrassing? Like, can you imagine? Like,
Like
TTPT drops and they have lost like they're not on a winning streak. I love that. I think that's so funny. Um, but yeah,
yeah.
I also just love like this because this is also alchemy too, right? Like we have the
Yep.
alchemy between her and her fans, the alchemy between her and Travis, and also this alchemy of them winning the game. Like they weren't supposed to win, right? Like this unlikely event magically happened where like winning streak, win trophy.
And then also it's so like I think it's kind of underestimated the way this bridge is working because she's like there was no chance for them to win, but they did, and he still ran right to her.
Yeah.
Like this is a big deal that they won, and he still is like, I don't even care. I'm coming. He just runs straight over to me.
And guys, that's like the best part of any rom com. Like I know we talk about in the Olympics, but like where they're like running to you, like after you've not avoided a conflict, like solved a conflict, or to like chase you down. Like the run, like I feel like that's just that image is what's like so powerful. Like the run, like nothing's gonna stop me. I will run through a concrete wall if I have to.
Exactly. He's coming right to her. And then she does the chorus again, and it's just like jubilant. She's literally like, when I touch down, like she touched down. She's good. Also, whenever I listen to it, I do a little cheerleading thing. When the move she does when she's singing she's cheer captain, but I'm on the bleachers on
Yes.
stage, like and jumps up with one hand. That's the same move I do when I sing this part of the album.
Yeah, I love it. And I also think just like this whole song is about like the opposite of TTPD title track, right? Where she gets ghosted. well, lots of references to her being ghosted, but in this one he's so present with her, right? Like and the crowd is present with her, like cheering in the stadium, right? Like she's present with herself, like like
Mm,
her feet are firmly planted, I want to say, right? Like so much of like the album has been like her not being sure of herself or being
yep.
manic or being later we're going to see her lost in tons of daydreams, right? Like and I hate it here and stuff. But here she is
Uh,
so firmly in the here and now.
it's such a necessary part of the album, this song, because again, and I think it it is it's kind of apparent to me why it's not the very last song, because Taylor does tend to end albums on like their hopeful tint, but she was like, I can't do that with this one. Clairboat needs to be last, for reasons. But this one's second to last because, like you were saying, she's grounded, she's back. She even says it like, "What if I told you I'm back?" She's back in like standing tall again in every single aspect of her life has come together. And I don't think the Taylor who was writing My Boy and the Taylor who was writing all those songs at the beginning, like Black Dot, which we haven't even got to, I feel like she didn't realize she'd be able to write the Alchemy, and that's part of why it is so like shocked. Because again, well, we don't even talk about like the Torch Poets Department is 31 songs she wrote while in the process of touring and having the worst time of her life, and it was a life raft for her. And then when her life starts turning around and getting better, and she like writes it herself, and she's no longer drowning and she's floating, she returned like back to the stage, like she's back on stage. She never left it, but now she's like properly back on stage, and then her life just keeps getting better and better and better. Like she's like, whoa. And the thing is, she's like, there's nothing I it's not even that she would stop it, but she's like, I can't stop this alchemy. Who am I to even fight this? That I deserve good things is the thing that it's saying. Like, who are we to fight it? I deserve this,
Yeah.
kind of. And that's a long shot from the like horrific amount of self-loathing that is all over this album.
Yeah, I think I would phrase it more as like I'm worth it. Like yeah,
Exactly.
not
Very
like that I'm the best, but like hey, like no, like I'm a good person, or like I'm a person, like every person like deserves love and respect and deserves these things that we should all reach and have. And for her to then the universe being like, "Here, take it." Like I know she was flummoxed. She was flabbergasted.
I know. Especially because again, with self-loathing comes like I am not worthy of a lot of things. She was real down. It was real bad. And obviously we've seen it just all over the album where she's like, especially like even in the title track, which again, perfectly underrated, where she's like, who's gonna know me? Who's gonna know you? Like, because we deserve each other derogatory versus we deserve each other affectionate.
Yeah, and this is sorry. I looked up all the times Taylor Swift is saying like run and running, and I will
Mhm.
say like overall like there's tons of her language about like her like um, like there's running like derogatory, um, uh, and I just want to focus on just the times it says run in Midnights. Okay, so I'm gonna read them to you. You're on your own, kid. I play my songs in the parking lot. I'll run away. So the bolter, right? And also just in general, just she runs. Sweet nothing. I find myself running home to your sweet nothings, right? She's doing the running again to somebody. Um, Dear reader, get out your map, pick somewhere, and just run. Again, just running
She's
away.
running.
And then the saddest one, and you're losing me. Now you're running down the hallway. You know what they all say. And this is but now this running is like, those people who say like I love running, I get endorphins, I get a high, I want to do it. Like she's like, "Oh no, like I can run too, but to and or this guy is running too and he's running
He's
to
the one
me." What say that again?
I said he's the one doing the effort, especially because even earlier in this album, she's like, fresh out the slammer. I know who I first called to. She's like literally running to this person. And now he's putting in the work. He knew what he wanted and came for her.
And that's so beautiful and even and like and after winning a game that he could be celebrating with his friends, he could be like, tossing, you know, tossing beers back or shots back or like champagne spraying everybody. But no, first thing, runs to her, right? Like, you are the like reason why I made it through. Like, because that's what a lot of athletes say. Like, oh, like my partner was like, they're my biggest fan. They support me. Like, you don't know, like I couldn't make it to this level without their support. Like, they know who to thank. Like, the person to thank is not themselves. It's my partner, the person who helped me. And like, that's such a crazy thing to like, after being ghosted and being left broken, probably a crazy thing for her to hear. Like, normally, yeah, like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But for her, after she healed herself and pulled herself back together, then to hear that, for her to be like, oh my gosh, this is normal.
And it's good. And it's normal and it's good. And she closes the song the same way she opened it, where she's like, this happens once every few lifetimes. These chemicals hit me like white wine. Um, yeah. And she's like, again, and it's so interesting that this comes after um the smallest man who ever lived, because we know when she performs the smallest man who ever lives, she gets killed. And so in this song, she's like, a new life, a new lifetime. I am new and they can't ever hurt me again. And I get to experience something good again.
Yeah. And I love this, like, this happens once every few lifetimes. Like, and I know she's saying about, things being faded and things being so, special. But, like, um, it's her really being like, this is like this magical moment where all these things come together, like the love of my life and them winning this amazing game and me coming back to where I belong. Like, all these things, like it was, it was once in 20 lifetimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, and the pride she must feel to be like, look at songs 1 through 14 and how terrible it was. And then to be able to say, but then there was a track 15. There was hope and light and love and joy with my Travi who made it to the big game.
And I do think this song sets up nicely for Clara Bow to come after, because we have a fully realized Taylor who can now do some reflecting on the industry again that comes immediately next.
Yeah, because even, well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll
But
get to that.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's leave it at that. Um, but yeah, I love this song. I think the Olympics have made people appreciate it fully. And yeah, I will say my only quibble is but it's not her fault, and it's actually part of the, excuse me, it's part of the storytelling. The line beer sticking to the floor. I hate that imagery. I hate beer sticking to the floor. I hate,
I
but
know it's so gross and it
but it's
smells, but it works.
yeah, it's true. And B, the way she sings it is so sticky. Beer sticking to the floor. I'm like, oh girl, like
I know. I know.
you.
I love that bridge. I'm sorry, because again, even the way, like you said, the way she sings it, it sounds in slow motion. Like it sounds like the big scene of a rom com that is everything's in it's slow motion as they're running to each other, and the camera's panning through all this celebration, and it's them.
Yeah, yeah, and so yeah, it's amazing. Like, I mean, I will say, girl has loved her football metaphors. Before this, we have stay, stay, stay. You came in wearing a football helmet. We have 15 dating the boy on the football team. Long live has like sports imagery in it too, I think.
Literally, and then there's like literally the sports imagery of "You Belong with Me" that isn't directly stated, but it is in both the music video and the fact that the girl that he should be with, that's not Taylor, the girl he's with is the cheerleader.
Yeah,
So,
and she's on the bleachers probably watching Friday Night Lights.
yep,
Um,
and so
and
watching him.
and then yeah, so I think it's quite remarkable that all that practice, right? All those times where she's just like, oh yeah, this is her dad watching the Eagles game and her being like, just passing by, learning, just be like, okay, cool, like whatever. And then all of a sudden being like, I'm gonna make maybe like a sports anthem. Let me write a sports anthem about my boyfriend.
Exactly. Also, it's just really funny for like it's in your life you'll do things greater and date the boy on the football team.
Yeah,
Because
she
yeah,
forgot to put it. It did the and or didn't fit. Uh,
yep. So, but now she's like, you'll do great. You 100% will do things greater than dating the boy on the football team, and you get to date him. Like
yeah, and or
manifestation come true.
no, it's and I still think it's crazy that she like really wrote this into existence, right? Like talk about manifesting your boyfriend winning a Super Bowl.
Kind of makes sense that that would happen to Taylor.
I mean,
I know she was kind of she had to be like we joke that she's a witch a lot, but I know she jumped back like, oh wow, that's not
what's the thing
that.
that you said about like well, no, not you said, but like people said, but you texted me about the 13. We knew you knew she was
Oh
gonna.
my God. I knew she was gonna win the second the announcer said it was their 13th drive, and then they got to the 13-yard line,
That's right.
and I said, oh, they won the game. I knew the second they won the game when they said it's their 13th drive on the 13-yard line with 13 seconds left.
Yeah, and I think Travis was the one who got it to the 13-yard line too. Pretty
Yep.
sure.
Travis landed on the 13-yard line. I said, oh,
No,
and it's the 13th game Taylor attended. Everybody else was losing hope. I was like, oh,
no,
they
no, no.
won.
I feel like
I
all the
can see her.
Swifties at that moment activated, right? Like we knew, right? Like we were like, oh, like this is like, but like everyone else is like, oh, like there is no chance trying to be the greatest in the league.
Yep. Like the second they said 13-yard line. First of all, and 49 as 13, the numbers of the Super Bowl there was 13s all around. And I said, oh, they won. Like this is not it's kind of unfair in this moment how much they just won. Everybody else was panicking. Let me tell you something. At halftime, the score added up to 13.
Yeah, the NFL did not rig this. Tay Voodoo manifested it.
Exactly. like like let me look it up because I knew at halftime um I knew at halftime when it added up to 13 that it was the Chiefs had it even though they were down. Um like the Super Bowl halftime score it was like 10-3 with 49ers. It was 49ers 10, Chiefs 3 or something. And I said, "Oh, a 13."
What
They
are you
won.
what are you
They
doing
were
here?
behind. They were behind, and I said, "Oh, it's a 13." They won.
Yeah, it was great. I had Swifties over at my house to watch the game. We had a great time. Yeah, it was so fun. So I cannot wait for Taylor to write more about sports because I'm sure it's gonna
Yeah,
happen. She's
she's
gonna
really good at it.
learn all the ins and outs, offensive line, defensive
Oh,
line.
they said Taylor acts like she's a coach. I'm like, put her in. Let her. They were literally like, she's learned the game so much she can call plays.
I
I'm
wouldn't be
like,
I wouldn't be surprised if like she plays Madden with like Travis and his friends and just
that
like
would be that,
smokes them.
that's so funny. I need them just one time to just put Taylor on the sidelines. Let her be a coach. Why not? Let her they're gonna be like, yeah, we actually won that game on a play Taylor designed.
That would be amazing.
Give her a championship ring. Like you were a trophy or a championship ring. Hello, Willow. But
Oh my
the
god.
other football sports reference she's done before.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Oh, emoji. We did not emoji.
Obviously, I feel like it kind of has to be a football.
All right. Just, yeah. Let's do the football. Keep it classic. But yeah, thank you all. Please leave a comment. If you're on Spotify, I think you can leave a comment. If not on Spotify, if you just want to like send us a tweet or, use the hashtag TTPT seminars, guys, we love when you guys write us little comments. It makes we screenshot them and send them to each other. It's like, so you will
Yeah.
be featured in a text thread.
Who are we to fight the alchemy of y'all sending us comments? Just send them.
Yeah.
We won't fight it.
Yeah, and yeah, we hope you have enjoyed this episode. We will be back for Clara Bow, which will be the final track of the standard edition. We will be, I mean, we know manuscript is like technically the main bonus track, but we're gonna save that for the last. But yeah, we will also be updating you on our anthology schedule coming up. So
Yeah.
stick around, and we will talk to you soon.